What can you catch from a vampire at wintertime? Frostbite. What's going on, YouTube? For the next 8 days, 18 hours, and 7 minutes, if you somehow are managing to watch this while I'm recording it, we have our double gold, double XP, and additional harvesting resources mini event. This is accessible to everybody, and this comes from all resources except for fishing. That means that you'll get double gold from questing and all sorts of other rewards, such as if you were to do your daily writs, but also, let us break down our Tuesday vendor. But if you want to see an XP guide, check in the description below for our XP guide. We'll also be doing an updated one this week as well. And to start us off, we are inside Apocrypha, outside of the plane of existence, to go over our first of two Tuesday vendors. We have Filer Ool, who's going to give us an assortment of items, and I'll give you a clue. If you can guess what this first mythic goes to, I'll give you a cookie in the comments below. And if you guessed the Ebon Wolf mount, well, you were correct. This lead normally drops from a group delve inside of Craglorn. You can see here, this is where that location is, and then this is where the boss is. Craglorn bosses are certainly more difficult than your normal delve boss, but to say that this is worth 5,000 archival fortunes would be a bit of an understatement. So I would not encourage you to spend your archival fortunes on this, but the fun part about this review of the vendors, we get to talk about all the leads and where they go to. Next up, we have the Lucient Cabochon Antiquity, which actually gives you access to one of the more popular mythics, the Veloth Mage's Amulet. But normally you can actually just get this bad boy by doing public dungeon bosses inside of Apocrypha's public dungeon, which is just right here. It's very straightforward. I don't think that you necessarily need to worry about going out and purchasing it, but it is a good mythic. And for example, it's actually one of the more popular mythics in the game because it adds a bunch of penetration, increased damage done, minor force, increase your critical damage done. Your light and heavy attacks just lose 99% of their total damage. A lot of people weave this into builds, especially Arcanist builds, so it's a good mythic if you're interested in something like that, but it's not necessary. Next up, we have the Euphotic Gatekeeper Mask, which, to be fair, last came out a year ago, so it's not been available to purchase for a while, or to farm for a while, rather. But people still are not selling it for very much gold. You can see that it's worth 850,000, 850,000, 725,000. I would say there's not that many listings of it, but the mask itself is not very popular. It just kind of makes you look like a goofy underwater animal. And because you get these bounds, the only value you get is the fact that you don't have to go and purchase it from another player, or you don't have to wait the 1 to 2 years to wait for it to become a farmable item for you again. Next up is Craglorn maps, which you would assume would be decent, and they are okay. The problem with Craglorn is it's a very farmed map. In fact, some of the best XP farms, Spellscar, for example, are inside of Craglorn. The portals, run is inside of Craglorn. So a lot of people farm Craglorn. So even though Way of Fire right now is one of the most popular sets to use for PvP, it's not going to gain any value because so many people are farming it that there's still a higher supply than there is a demand, meaning that buying the treasure maps is not going to get you any value that you could sell, or really any value that you could use as a player, because you could just buy any of the resources that you would need with gold instead, and it's probably more affordable. Next up, we have Companion Heavy Armor, which, to be fair, is some good armor to gamble on. Definitely the Vigorous trait is the one that can be very difficult to get to purchase. If you want to gamble 5,000 archival fortunes on it, I totally understand. The companion gear market has skyrocketed, and with the 2 new companions on the horizon, it only consistently continues to go up. So if you wanted to use your archival fortunes to gamble on the heavy armor, I totally get it. And we have our 2 books, which I'm not allowed to skip. You are able to buy both of these. They're very small. Hopefully, somebody likes that. Then next, we have our scripts. And interestingly, I actually don't have one of the scripts here on offer. But you can see we have Cowardice, Lifesteal, Restore Resources, and Immobilizing Strike. The problem with these scripts is that if you're doing daily quests, like the good little cherub that you are, you probably have already gotten most, if not all of these already. Now, using your archival fortunes to purchase a script is not on the surface a bad idea. The problem is it just becomes a bad idea when you realize that if you just do normal types of content, you are saving yourself a premium currency, because there are antiquity leads that sometimes take hours upon hours upon hours for you to get, and being able to purchase them outright. Let's say it saves you 3 hours. Well, 3 hours of farming probably would get you a ton of scripts that you would have already. So it's more of just a time sink versus reward versus saving premium currency thought logic that goes into these. Which of these are good? Cowardice has some niche PvP utilizations, not a lot. Same with Lifesteal, can be okay. Resource to store, some people will use that for support, but I don't think it's necessary. And Immobilizing Strikes is okay, but it's certainly not one of the most used scripts. So when it comes to purchasing them, there's really no FOMO that you need to worry about for these bad boys. And then next, we have our 2 trophies that you can normally find by just doing content. If you complete the daily quest and Infinite Archive, you're going to be getting the Disgusting Spoils. If you go into the public dungeon, you can get the Sigil Globes. I believe it's in Somerset. But notably, I do want to highlight here the Wolf Fragment, because getting these fragments is not as convoluted and as easy as it would seem. You can see that the Wolffather one drops from world bosses at Lake Watchtower in Bankrai. Now, that's a pretty farmed area. It's also a pretty easy farm. But I just wanted to highlight these because for 1,000 Archival Fortunes, if you're interested in getting this acquired skill, it's certainly a fine investment. 1,000 Archival Fortunes is much easier to swallow than 10,000 or 7,000 as well. So I just wanted to highlight these because a lot of people didn't know where these drop from. And some of these are more annoying than others. You could see some are from final bosses. Those are definitely the ones that I would keep an eye out for. But overall, if you're interested, this is what you can do. And look, it's green. Ooh. And then to round us off and finish us off here, we're inside the Scholarium inside of Ivea to go over our final vendor here that rotates. Now, for those of you who don't know, the scripts here actually rotate each week, so you're able to get scripts and things that you don't have. For example, we have Berserk, Mangle, Frost Damage, Anchorite's Cruelty, and then if you have the achievement for getting all your little signature scripts, you can buy the Class Mastery one. Now, the Class Mastery one is always here, so in order, is Berserk good? Yeah, it's good. If you wanted to just spend 4,000 gold to get it, Berserk is certainly a fine one to have. Mangle, I think, is okay. I'm going to buy it just because I don't have it, but it's not one that I think is essential for the majority of players to have. Frost Damage, I think, is very specific. If you love frosty damage, if you're a warden, if you love everything that wardens do, if you love the frostiness of what they can accomplish, then get this one. 8,000 gold. That's nothing, essentially. And then Anchorite's Cruelty is also, in my opinion, one of the best signature scripts. For 12,000 gold, that's a pretty good deal. I would actually go out and purchase this for that price point. So these are some essential ones that I would grab because at the end of the day, 8,000 gold is nothing. If you did your daily writs today, you would get more than 8,000 gold. So when you compare that to 10,000 Archival Fortunes, which could take hours, it just doesn't compare. That's why I always think, save it for this guy, see if it's here. If not, just continue to farm your daily quests. But everyone, thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you need to do to enter is leave a comment in the comments below. Tell me if anything excites you this week. For me, the Frost Damage one I think is probably the best showing. Also happy to see the double XP, double gold. That's always nice to see in bonus to resources. Second thing is just make sure that you're subscribed. And if you want 2 additional drawings on that, just make sure you follow on Twitch and Twitter. And the third thing is look for a hidden word to be flashed up on the screen. If you're the first person to comment that word, you will win. Thank you guys so much again. Have a happy Tuesday, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.